Hey everyone, Jason here with a bit of a breakdown on the fifth wheel. I'm going to be preparing this for a tutorial, and I want to thank everyone who's donated. I'm going to make this possible. So this is going to be a donors exclusive. This will not be shared anywhere else. So here we have the fifth wheel, and I want to prepare this for a tutorial. How do I start with that? Well, let's worry about what's mutually exclusive. That means there's nothing really attached with one another. So here I have the base that attaches the fifth wheel to the pickup truck. So this is pretty easy. This could be a really quick tutorial right here. So this is separate. Another thing that could be mutually exclusively separated, if I'm using the term correctly, is the top. So this can be built in a video by itself. So that's pretty straightforward. Now when it comes to stuff like this is a bit of a challenge. So we obviously have slide outs that move, and we have build on all four sides, including the top and bottom. So where do I start with this? Well, the slide outs can be done in videos by themselves. But however, these are dependent. The top depends on these slide outs. These actually have to be put in before I can put in slide outs. So how do I do this? I can start pulling this thing apart, and I can pop out the slide outs. So now it's a semi-exclusive, and I have to pop out this big one too, so I have to work this loose. So let's slide that out as best we can. There's the other slide out right there. Okay, let's put this stuff back together loose. Now, as you can see, I have a couple of things kind of broken and stuff. So my best bet is to stay right below this line, and let's see if I can pop that loose here. Now right now this is just broken down. This is not a tutorial yet. We're far from that. As you can see, I'm kind of tied into this corner. When I build things, I always interlock my connections. So how do I start this? Well, I can push this down slightly, or I can push it down all the way. It depends on the mood of this thing. And, well, obviously, when I put the slide outs in, I can put both slide outs in and then put these last pieces on there. Well, how do I break that out, though, without making a mess and destroying the whole build? Let's see here. So this actually runs here. So let's say I pop this tile out and I break apart above this door right here. There we go. That means that this part can come out. Set that there very carefully. We don't want to break anything, and this piece here can go right on the top. So now I'm just preparing this. This thing does come out too. So if I broke that loose, how far does this go? Right about there. Okay. So, yeah. That means that I can come in here, build the bedroom, and wrap this whole area in. This right here goes strictly here. Now, however, I got to do the main slide out before I can put this in there. Okay. Now, there's a couple other things that I can break apart too. This whole bed here is going to have to be done in one tutorial. So another easy way to break it is right at this door. And I can basically loosen up, well, if I loosen this up just right, I'd have to pull the awning apart and loosen it up in such a way that I can break this loose. I'm sorry if you can't really see anything. It's nothing really exciting. It's just breaking this apart. Let's pop that awning all the way off. And matter of fact, the awning itself, this can be done as a tutorial, separate. That means I can build these exclusively. Now I have all these exclusive builds, but this one here, I can't build this in one sitting. I would go nuts. I'm trying to break it along this crease here. So I'm trying to pull out the door here. Sometimes this stuff is a little stubborn. You have to persuade it. It just wants to shred apart. Okay. So now, if I pull this out, I can pull that's the top part out. Now, the door is going to fall out, obviously. But now I can focus on this in a day right here, this bedroom portion. Now, for the base, that's pretty easy. I can just, one tutorial section could just be up to this green line here. So I can focus strictly on just this part here. The kitchen is pretty well self-contained. I can't remember how I put it together though. I don't think it's interlocked, except the only thing that locks this in is, yeah, it doesn't wiggle. I know I have bricks with knobs in the back. So, oh, okay, I see right here I have that tied in. So when I build the kitchen, I'll have to build it with this wall. And then the bathroom, of course, is going to be a pain. So how I would tackle this is, this part's separate, this bottom's separate. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. So my best option would be to build up the wall up to this point. Well, the refrigerator's separate. Let me pop that door open and see. Oh yeah, this is the thought process, how I do these tutorials. These handles, I need to make these handles the other way. Yeah, so that's separate. So when I build the wall construction for this, I can do the bathroom and wall construction just for this area. I'd have to build the refrigerator with it, because these do pop off. Okay, and I believe the cabinets can easily be popped out too. Well, the faucet's going to come out. And my apologies if I'm out of frame. This is like a quick impromptu video. I'm just seeing if I can loosen that up. Obviously I have black brick behind there, so I'm assuming that this just pops out. Let me put that back in there. Here's the faucet. So I would say that the little kitchen, if that's the case, then these can be built in their own little tutorial. That still leaves this right here. I'd have to build all this in one sitting. That's not too fun. Now, also consider about big bricks. Do I have a lot of big stuff? This is a lot of bricks here. When I build these lights, I'll just build those in a pair. Got a wall element back on this side for the shower stall. So if I had to estimate tutorial-wise, how many clips is this going to do? Because I'm going to film a clip a day. Right now with work and everything, I just do not have time to do all this. If I had a lot of donors, I'd probably take some time off work and film this in like 2 days. But with that being said, this right here on here would be a tutorial, so that'd be one clip. I mean, that'd be 1 day. This part right here, including the entertainment cabinet, this right here will be 2 days to film. Okay, so all this here would have to be put together. This right here probably would be 3. Maybe the kitchen would be 4. And the stuff here is going to be set for the top. That's the final. And I would probably say this would be 5. In addition to 5, we put this on here. Not too bad. In addition to the door. We're talking about 5 days of filming right there. And of course 6 would be here. We just drop this down in here and lock it in. And of course the 7th day would be just the top and that. So this will be a week-long filming. Now as far as for the length of this video, how long is this video going to be? I would have to project maybe an hour and a half. I really have stepped up my game on filming tutorials. I try to make these as painless as possible. So building this, so I think what I'll do is later on this week is I'm going to start filming some parts. Like I could film this anytime I want. I can definitely film this and the hitch anytime I want. And this little bedroom piece. So there's 4 pieces that I can build anytime. Now when it comes to this, I actually have to take this apart and section this off. So I have to come in here and decide out where I want to start. The best place to stop on this, or to start building, would be the base of this where the green line is at, right down here. And build up to this green line here, this lime green piece, and just plate that off. That'd be a very big, large section. So, it depends on how fast I usually build these things. Like I said, my tutorials have stepped up. I like to keep segments between 10 to 15 minutes. That's pretty much what anybody can handle. You know, I don't think I could sit there and build one of these continuously. So you can see the bottom's pretty busy. This is actually going to be the tough part right here. This is the toughest part of building tutorials, is the base. So where do I start with that? Well, best thing to do is probably lock these plates together with these dark gray plates and attach all this stuff to it, and just build up put the leveling jacks and the slide out stairs. However, I do need to make this thing strong, so what I probably will do is leave these plates here before I put any of this accessory stuff on, and put the floor in first, where it's perfectly level. Then I can lay this thing flat, and then I can attach the wheels and stuff. This is not going to be an easy build. This is going to be pretty involved. So anybody who's built one of my camper tutorials will know that these are pretty involved when it comes to, you have to hold it with like a hand down here, and you got to press this here. You can't really do this because of course it could flip around and stuff. Let's say you forgot to put these jacks up, it could do this. Very unstable. So anyways, that's pretty much what I'm going to do here. This is, like I said, this is an impromptu video and how I'm breaking this apart. This is strictly for donors, so if you've donated in the past and you're on my mailing list, you can see the process behind it. And if you're really interested, please tell me and say, hey Jay, I'd like to see more progress updates, what you've done, where you're at on the tutorial filming, and I'll be sure to share that with you. But I don't know if I'll share that or not. I'm not going to go through the whole tutorial process. That I'm going to save. Well, maybe I can make that as a donor exclusive sometime in the future. So let's see. We get a lot of support on Patreon. We get a lot of support through Super Chat. I may end up doing a complete tutorial on how I do tutorials, which is, honestly, it's pretty involved. You may see a 10-minute tutorial, 20-minute tutorial, but those, they take a long time. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to stop flapping my gums, and I'm going to get started on the filming.